Stop me if you heard this before, but the Panthers, they play a game, they dig themselves into a hole. As soon as you think it's going to get embarrassing on the scoreboard, they start to finally scratch and claw their way out of that hole that they dug, just to make it interesting enough to get your hopes up and have you believe that this team actually might do something. And at that, the defense that hasn't really got many stops throughout the game, they suddenly turn into the steel curtain and get the ball back to the offense. That's supposed to be the part that we rely on. We get the ball at the end of the ball game with a chance to either tie or go ahead and get the victory, only for the offense to really pretty much spin their wheels and run in place and fall flat on their face, just the same way that they always do. My name is Aaron Duncan here with the Necessary Bluntness Sports Talk, and we're going to talk about the Panthers recap game against the Packers because it's frustrating. You keep seeing the same story all over and over again, so we got to talk about it and break it down. I'm going to give my reaction to everything. But before we get into all that, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, man, and give the video a thumbs up, too, because I give recap and analysis of the Panthers on a weekly basis all week. I do live streams. I do breakdowns before the game. I do film breakdowns. So if you want to make sure you stay up to date on all that stuff, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon. And like I said, show some videos some love. Give the video a thumbs up. To go ahead and get into this and dive deep into this, offensively, why are we surprised at this point? You know, I'm not going to beat up on Teddy Bridgewater that much because I've done it already. And at this point, it's sad and I feel bad for him. You know, if the coaches and the players, they seem to be on different wavelengths. You know, Teddy Bridgewater with the fumble on the goal line, the quarterback sneak trying to jump over the top. It's sad to see because Teddy Bridgewater, like we've talked about it before, he's looking for an identity. He's trying to prove himself. He spent that time in New Orleans learning to Drew Brees. We've seen Drew Brees jump over the top multiple times. But he tries it, doesn't get very high, doesn't reach very far, but fumbles the football. Not only does he fumble, the opposing team picks it up and runs it 48 yards. It was amazing they didn't score a touchdown, but that just shows the turn of events that has happened and played the Panthers, and it just seems to be a dark cloud following around Teddy Bridgewater. He just really can't get over the hump and over the top. As soon as you think that he may prove himself, because he's having opportunities to prove himself week in and week out. We know he's fallen to 0-8 when it comes to drives where he needs to have a chance to either tie the game or go ahead. He's 0-8 now. So we kind of know what he is. But now it just continues to be frustrating because you want this guy to do well. He's a nice guy. He's a nice guy, and even the media apologists, most of them at least. I know there's some that's saying that Teddy Bridgewater is not completely to blame, but even the media is turning against Teddy. And Teddy's such a nice guy, so it's hard for them to do this. So to see that, I almost feel bad. Like I said, I'm going to lay off of getting into him that much, but our offense seemed to struggle. You know, Curtis Samuel had a couple drops on some bubble routes that he didn't seem comfortable with, and Robby Anderson had a hard time getting going in the first half. The running game seemed to be going pretty steady, but our offensive coordinator didn't want to run the ball down there on that goal line before that turnover happened, I guess. So it really made me wonder what was going through their head. They tried to go hurry up, try to do something that we don't normally do. And Matt Rhule said before halftime, he told Teddy that was a no-no. We don't do that. We don't go over the top on quarterback sneaks. We go low, you know what I'm saying? And especially on first down. It was only first down. You don't have to get it there. You know, so it made sense that Matt Rhule ridiculed him, but for him to be a lot more outspoken in the media about this really makes you scratch your head and figure out what the heck is going on, because this is Matt Rhule's guy. Let's be for real. Let's be clear. This is Matt Rhule's guy. Matt Rhule wanted to bring in Teddy. Wherever he went, I think Matt Rhule was going to bring Teddy with him. And that's the guy he hand-chosen. It was hand-chosen by the coaching staff to be the guy, to usher in this new era of Carolina football. And this is where we are, sitting at 4-10. Granted, I know people are saying, why are people mad in the fan base that we've only won 4 games when y'all predicted this anyway? Stop it. Because the journey is just as important as the ending. You know, the journey is just as important as the destination. Yeah, we knew that we'd probably end up only winning 4 to 6 games, but we didn't think they would be like this. We didn't think that it would be the offense that's continuing to let us down. We didn't think it would be the defense that was actually stepping up with all these rookies that we're playing. We didn't think it would be the defense that was literally carrying this team against the number 1 team in the NFC. So don't come at me talking about, why are y'all surprised? Y'all should have expected this. Nah, we were gaslit. We were gaslit to say that Teddy Bridgewater showed how good he can be when he went 5-0 with the Saints. We were gaslit to try to believe that. So don't come at us trying to be mad saying that, oh, you guys knew what Teddy Bridgewater were when you signed him. Don't act like he was supposed to be some Superman guy and carry the team. Nah, y'all gaslit us to try to tell us that he was some guy that he wasn't. We knew what the deal was. So don't try to get mad at us when we criticize Teddy Bridgewater down the stretch now. You know what I'm saying? But offense, gotta love what I saw from DJ Moore. Went over 100 yards, went over 1,000 yards for the season. Robby Anderson was quiet, but he did go over 1,000 yards for the season himself. 2,000-yard receivers and a quality playmaker in Curtis Samuel. And yet this offense still struggles mightily. And it's kind of frustrating and hard to watch because we should be doing more. I predicted us to have a top 10 offense. We have the weapons. And I know Christian McCaffrey has been injured. I don't care. Mike Davis is effective enough. Our receivers are effective enough. We have 2,000-yard receivers and a great playmaker that can run the ball and catch the ball in Curtis Samuel. We got to be doing more. Joe Brady, supposed to be some innovative young guru, maybe the next hotshot head coach. Nah, he ain't ready. He's not ready. He gets too cute sometimes. Little end around the trick plays and the flip plays. He brings in Brandon Zylstra to try to throw a reverse quarterback throwback to Teddy Bridgewater. You try to throw a pass to Teddy Bridgewater. He couldn't even get off the line of scrimmage because he got jammed up in the traffic. Like, why are we getting this cute with this stuff? With this hickory-dickory nursery rhyme play calling? Like, we have playmakers, man. It's not that complicated to get these guys the ball. The offensive line, they actually stepped up. You know, Taylor Moton did give up that pretty bad sack versus Preston Smith. But besides that, a lot of that pressure was either coverage sacks or Teddy just holding the ball too much. So I got to give the offensive line credit because they struggled. Trent Scott started at left tackle for Russell Okung. He actually did a decent job. The Packers have some great defensive linemen when it comes to Preston Smith and Aldarius Smith on the edges. But we did a fairly good job keeping Teddy clean. So I got to give them credit there. The offensive line did a good job. Like I said, Mike Davis ran pretty hard. I just wish they could have gave him the ball a little bit more time in some of those scenarios, especially on the goal line scenario when he had been effective pretty much the whole drive. Or even Rodney Smith, the rookie, who had got us down to the 1-yard line. So play calling is definitely to be blamed also. But I know Teddy's going to take a lot more of this. And we'll see what happens going forward. There's 2 games left. I think everybody was pretty much begging for P.J. Walker. But again, Teddy Bridgewater gave you enough of a slimmer of hope, running the ball, running stuff in the end zone to make you not want to put in your backup quarterback. But as you can see with the Eagles, when they put in Jalen Hurts, there's just something about a different spark from a different quarterback who's in there. People tend to play a little bit stronger, play a little bit better, elevate their game. So maybe we should go to P.J. Walker down the stretch at some time. A lot of people are saying no because we might mess around and win a football game if you put P.J. Walker in there. But we'll see. But it's obvious that we have some holes on this team offensively. And quarterback, it seems to be one of the ones, the biggest ones in that aspect. Yeah, we need offensive line help. But at times, they can be decent too. But we definitely need help at the quarterback position. For sure. So let's talk about the defense, man, because the defense was a mixed bag. First half, they gave up over 150 yards rushing. Aaron Rodgers pretty much didn't have to do anything in the first half. Aaron Jones did the heavy lifting. He was gashing us. 20-something yard run here, 40-something yard run here. It just seemed like it was going to be a long day. Aaron Jones is one of the best running backs in the league. He is underrated. Let's be clear. Aaron Jones is no scrub. He's no nobody. He's underrated. So I was worried about our tackling of this guy because he is a monster. And it showed his head because our tackling had been bad most of the year, but we actually did a pretty decent job tackling on him. It was just our gap integrity was bad. Guys trying to take the short route and the shortcut to get to the running back in the backfield. And as soon as you get out that gap, the running back jump cuts, gets into the other lane, he's going for 46 yards. So that's going to come with more experience, us being disciplined in those gaps, probably getting some better linebackers in there maybe because we know we need that. But what can I say? These guys turned it around. They forced 5 straight punts that allowed this offense to finally get back in the game. Hell, there's been games that we haven't forced a punt at all, i.e. the Saints game or the Falcons game where we only forced 1 punt. But for them to get 5 straight punts against the number 1 offense in the league, the number 1 team in the NFC, Aaron Rodgers, the front runner for MVP who has 40 touchdown passes, that's saying a lot. That is saying a lot. Like I said, the running game, it hurt us in the first half. And once they got a lead, you can probably say that maybe they put their offense in cruise control. But once the game started getting close, you can't say that Aaron Rodgers wasn't trying to do some things out there. And his defensive line, Derrick Brown finally, the big boy finally broke through. 2 sacks. I know he had been close last week, but he got 2 sacks. And a couple other sacks and pressures that forced Aaron Rodgers into the arms of Brian Burns. Brian Burns had 2 sacks himself. F.A. Obata. What's up, my dude? F.A. Obata is just not some feel-good story. Imagine F.A. Obata getting cut by this team. And now he's coming in making plays like this. This has been a great season for him. He's been a breakout season for him. I don't know what's changed. I don't know if leaving him inside a lot more has helped him a lot, but he just seems like a whole different player. He's a lot more aggressive. He's getting to the quarterback a lot more often from the inside. They're not putting him on the edge anymore. They're playing him inside. And so his quickness has been able to show. But he also has a little bit of strength and length to be able to get that pressure up the gut. But Derrick Brown, inside pressure. That's what you need when you're playing a guy like Aaron Rodgers. For us to get 5 total sacks on him says a lot. Our defense wreaked havoc all day. And I'm going to make an analysis video about our D-line and just show you the film about how good they actually were. Because when you go back and look at the one-on-one battles and what went into those sacks, you're going to be really proud about what we're going to be able to build. Brian Burns being in the second year. F.A. Obata only having 2 years of experience. Derrick Brown, rookie year. Etor Gross-Matos, rookie year. If Etor can really develop, this front four can be amazing. I would not be surprised to see us draft another sack artist, hopefully, in the draft. Maybe a D lineman that can play the 3 technique because KK Short's probably out of there. F.A. Obata is solid, but he's good. He's more of a rotational piece, but we will see. But I got to give these guys credit because the defensive line is what helped. It helped a lot. And, we really kept Devontae Adams relatively quiet from a guy that's been on a tear most of the season. And the crazy part about it is Troy Pride. He started over Rasul Douglas. They started Troy Pride and Dante Jackson. Troy Pride just happened to get hurt, so Rasul Douglas came in, and Rasul Douglas made some plays tackling Devontae Adams. Dante Jackson made some plays. It was a good all-around game from our secondary. Of course, Jeremy Chin went over 100 tackles on the season doing what he does. Trey Boston being a vet in the secondary was pretty solid. But overall, this defense, they turned it around in the second half, held them to 3 points only, or 6 points, excuse me. You got to be proud of this defense. Now, Phyllis Noah is coming under a lot of fire, even for me. But at the same time, once you finally start mixing it up, giving them different looks, and you get some pressure from that front four, not front three, front four, you can make some things happen. So when you get these guys to tackle better and stay in their gaps, good things happen, obviously, for this defense. So there's definitely something to build on, and you feel encouraged. You can't really ask for much more at this point with us not being in the playoffs. You want to see these guys compete against the better teams. It's disheartening to keep losing this way, but you rather it be, I guess, competitive than getting blown out because it makes some of these guys feel more confident when you have the defense that can hold a team as legit as the Packers to that little points in the second half. Aaron Rodgers had less than 150 yards passing. This is the front runner, arguably the front runner for the MVP. Less than 150 yards passing. That's saying something. But let's talk about Matt Rhule's coaching. This is the last thing. Matt Rhule, the decision-making to kick the field goal right away, you're pretty much banking on saying that you have more confidence in the likelihood of your defense forcing a 3 and out than you do of getting an onside kick. Because you should have kept going for the end zone being down 11. I get it. You're going to need a field goal anyway. So that was his thought process. He broke it down and explained it. But to me, to try to force a team that's only had 6 3 and outs the whole year, which is the Packers, even though they hadn't been playing well that day, you were trusting that defense that day, I get it. But the likelihood of a team that's only had 6 3 and outs all season getting a 3 and out and giving you the ball right back when you only had 1 timeout and a 2-minute warning, I just feel like the juice isn't always worth the squeeze. The risk isn't always worth the reward in that aspect. But we can talk about that more also. But this analytics-driven stuff, it's weird. It's weird, and I'm not always going to get it, but it is what it is. It almost worked out. It's just when you don't get that 3 and out that you say that you needed, you were gambling on, you leave your team with only 35, 40 seconds. And then when you have 2 penalties on that final drive, because you would have got the ball at the 40-yard line, but you end up starting backed up. And then you pretty much spin your wheels, you're running in place, you turn the ball over, your quarterback throws the ball out of bounds in the final play, and it's over. So that's how the cookie crumbles. So you guys let me know down below in the comments how you felt about the game last night, your reaction. I just went off the cuff today talking about some things. I'll give a deeper breakdown and analysis in the following days to come. We got, 8 days till our next game against the football team, the Ron Rivera Bowl. So I will do some breakdowns about the D-line and some other statistics talking about the coaching and Teddy Bridgewater too. So make sure you guys subscribe and tune into that. But without further ado, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm out of here. I'll see you next time. Peace.